friends. Welcome back to another episode of The Mind of Reese. I'm so glad you're here. I am about to gear up for, where am I going? Literary Ink. I'm going to Literary Ink in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Last time I did a podcast during the time I was going to Chattanooga, I kept saying Chattanooga, Texas, and I definitely could not stop saying it because after I got made fun of a few times, I was so embarrassed that it was almost like the fear kept perpetuating, right? And that's definitely an analogy for spiritual awakenings. It's just like, of course, the more you fear something, the more it perpetuates so that you can learn the lesson of just letting it go and letting it be and letting yourself be human. So I realized, and then after that, I kept making fun of myself. So Chattanooga, Texas is where I'm going. No, I'm going to Chattanooga, Tennessee for Literary Ink. Literary Ink is awesome. Jennifer Edge is amazing. I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite conventions to go to ever, especially in the States. She holds a very tight-knit community. It's very much book lovers. And she keeps it capped. She doesn't really do the whole travel circuit chain where she just allows anybody in it. She definitely does vet everybody in it. And so it's going to be a blast. I am teaching a seminar there. I'm doing really fun tattoos there. So I'm really, really excited to be just heading out there and hanging out with the friends and just being in convention. I was in a convention last week. I'm in convention this week. And then I think a week from now, I'm going to Trilogy to go support Angel and her seminar. I've never been. She had invited me and I was just like, I've got time. I can come. So I'm going to go and do that, which I'm really excited about. And to just be involved and to be able to learn from these amazing artists and everything like that. So yeah, just really stoked. And it's funny because I've been on the go teaching and tattooing and doing programs and all these things. So it just feels like I'm just being super creative in all the ways that and the multifaceted creator that I am. And so it's been really, really, really just nice. And I just feel like I'm super fucking grateful for just living the dream, literally. And so this kind of brings me to today, what the topic of today is really about money and how we price with ease and how we kind of get into that level of energy that really attracts that money. And the way that we do that is we start to understand, what is the feeling within our body that money is really coming up, like that when we talk about money or even charging our clients or raising your prices, like what that really feels like. So today I really want to talk about how we can price with ease, and whether that be, pricing your tattoos. I know that a lot of us are spiritual entrepreneurs, so we have extra, what I like to call accoutrements, which is if you add sound bowl or Reiki or energy healing or sigils or whatever it might be that adds to your tattoo experience. Or maybe you are a tattoo artist who also educates. It's something that I also do as well. And you're a tattoo artist or who wants to educate, and you're pricing for your educational pieces. Whatever it might be that you are pricing, we want to help you. We, as in me, myself, and I, and my 16 other personalities. I always consider myself a we because I do a lot of parts work in my journey and even in my spaces. And so it's like, oh yeah, there's 16 different of us in here. So when I say we, I mean me. I just mean me. But I say we just because there's a lot of things going on in this body. There's a lot of different psyches happening here. And they all want a piece of the pie. So when you are charging for your whatever it might be, for your tattoo experience, for the extra additives to your tattoo experience, or even if you're charging for educational experiences, the topic of money can feel either yummy or sexy or crunchy or traumatic. I mean, it's an activated experience whenever we think about money, right? And I don't know about you, but I know for me, I have definitely had my moments of feeling really uncomfortable charging my clients or raising my prices or even talking about money. Last year, I started talking about money a lot when I started opening up my program for Scale, which is my program for creative entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs, tattooers who want to step into the educational realm and start building passive income through online courses. And I knew I was going to have to talk about like some money and how much money I was making. I didn't have to, but it was definitely one of those things I was wondering why it was so charged in my body, why I didn't want to talk about it, why I didn't want to. And then so I had to get really clean and clear about the beliefs I had around money and about talking about money and about receiving money. Because receiving money, the way you receive money is like the same thing as you receive a compliment, right? Can you receive a compliment with ease? And it might be depending on what kind of compliment you get. You know, do you have inner dialogue when someone is like giving you a compliment and all of a sudden they were like, and you just like can feel your charged energy of not wanting to deflect, but instead just saying thank you, but you have this inner dialogue, right? And so maybe you've gotten good at really saying thank you, but internally you're unable to receive it. Like energetically, you're unable to receive it. So the way you receive a compliment can be it can be a big tell on what your relationship to receiving money might be. And so when we're thinking about the uncomfortability or the charged energy or the activation when it comes around money, I want you to know that it doesn't have to be that way. And this doesn't have to be your story forever. You actually get to move this energy, you get to heal this energy, and you get to create a different relationship with money, create a different relationship for what it is you're doing, for how it is, what it is you're selling, and what is not even selling, what you're offering into the world, what you're inviting people into. And I want you to recognize that when you are charging, it's just an exchange. That's it. When you are charging, it's just an exchange. People buy people, and then they buy products or services. People don't buy products or services. People buy based on emotions, even if done logically, which means that people buy people and then they buy your product or service. Because at the end of the day, something huge that I love to teach in all of my spaces is building a brand. When you build that brand, you are the brand. You are a huge factor of whatever service or product that you're selling. And so when you are the brand, when you understand that you have to create a brand around you because you make the personality, you create the brand message, the brand movement, and that brand message really adheres to what your values are so that you can call in the right people into your space and repel all the people that are not meant for your space so it makes more room for the right people to come through. We want people to bandwagon. We want people to fall in love. Right? It's a huge factor of why people buy things from anyone. It's how they are made to feel. So you are a huge factor of that service. So first question would be, why did you open this business? Why did you become an entrepreneur? Why did you become a tattoo artist? Why did you do this? Right? So many times we start a business and we're fucking scared. We're scared as fuck. Like, we didn't come out the womb knowing how to charge for our businesses or how to even run a business. I don't know about you, but I definitely know that my mentorship didn't teach me none of that shit. And they barely even taught me how to tattoo. I love them. And I love my apprenticeship. I did not have a bad apprenticeship. I had a great apprenticeship. It just unfortunately didn't teach me what I needed to know. It gave me the very basics, and then I had to relearn and understand what habits I needed to break. But what I did love about my apprenticeship, just to FYI and just segue in this, is the fact that they let me do what I needed to do to learn that. They weren't trying to force me to do anything they weren't trying to force me into a direction that they thought was the only way to be a tattoo artist. They were very open about, they were like, here, let me give you the very basics of what I know and you go for it, Reese. And so it was basically self-taught. But, I had a great apprenticeship. They pushed me to do something that I otherwise wouldn't have done on my own. And so love that. So I think it's great. But I know a lot of us have had apprenticeships where we don't get taught the business. We don't get taught marketing. We don't get taught anything other than maybe the bare minimum of how to tattoo. And so when we come in, when we start to open our businesses, it's like, what is the one thing that continues to drive you? What is the one thing? There's something that lit you the fuck up about your business, even when you didn't have a proper apprenticeship, quote unquote, or even when you didn't feel like you knew what you were doing. There was still something that lit you up. And that thing that lights you the fuck up, that's what you have to tap into. First, it's about feeling so good about what you offer and what you're inviting people into and what you're selling. So you got to feel super fucking good about what it is you're selling. right? You got to feel super fucking good about the experience you're giving to people, whether that be in tattooing, whether that be, you know, the sound bowl healing and the tattooing, or whether that be in just your programs or your online spaces, right? Every day there are thousands of people waking up just so freaking frustrated with a problem that you have a solution for and they are willing to pay for. And people think of this, it's like, well, Reese, I tattoo. What is the solution? The solution is the tattoo. Yeah, the product is the product, but how did that product make them feel? It made them feel a hell of a lot more expressed in their body, made them feel super pretty, made them feel beautiful, made them feel sexy, made them feel alive, made them feel good about themselves, made them want to, you know, take off that sweater and show off their body. It made them feel a lot of things, and that's the solution you are offering for people in the form of the healing medicine of tattooing. Oh my God, you guys, I am so excited. The Worthy Wealthy Creative Retreat is headed to Akumal, Mexico, January 12th through 16th, 2025. And this is for the artist who wants a full body immersive experience to create a magnetic brand following their soul's mission. I can't even tell you how much I had so much fun in this last one. We already have 6-7 people already in. Oh my gosh, put your deposit down today so you can reserve your seat. We're only taking 14 artists, so if this is you, click the show notes, get into the vibe. I will see you in Mexico. I cannot wait. Tattoos create positive change in life. And if we can't see that, then we need to come back to the drawing board of why we're doing the thing. Why did you get tattooed? I know why I got tattooed, because it made me feel really freaking cool. Even if it's just that. It's like tattoos make me feel really fucking cool. They look really good in all my outfits. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, they were my armor. If I really thought back to the first time I ever got tattooed, I knew for me, I was very insecure. I was very, very insecure about my body, about me, about who I was as a person. And it helped me through that until I could find my own ways to validate myself and go through a spiritual experience, right? And have my spiritual awakening of seeking, safety within me. So number one, before we get into that part, is get hyped or lit up about your why. People invest. People want to invest. You are giving them the energy that they desperately desire. Okay, you are giving them that energy. So get really fucking excited about the thing that you're doing. Get really fucking excited about that thing. And people will invest in it because they just want to be a part of that energy. They're like, wow, she's really stoked on this. Like, let's go. But we all have a cap. We all have this cap. We feel physical discomfort for charging over a specific amount. And now I know it's like if I were to say, who here feels comfy with $40? Right? And then we go up and up and up and up. And when I've done this with tattoo artists in a room filled with tattoo artists, the cap normally feels around like $600. Like we get a few people that are like, I'm good at around like 900, but the moment we hit like 4 digits, it's like, it feels hard. It's like, oh gosh, I'm hitting the 4 digits. And that's where people are capped out. And there is this perception of investments of over $1,000, like your belief on money around that. And so like there's this part of us that's like, we've never really truly charged over it. So now you project that perception and it's like all of a sudden it feels physically uncomfortable around this. So the likelihood of you actually charging that number with ease is something you will have to navigate, and most likely something you don't often do because we're unwilling to charge that much. That's why it's always at the end of a session, we're always like, well, let me just cut off a little bit, and it'll feel better. So oftentimes like 600 mark, the $600 to $1,000 mark is like where people start to really, really get uncomfortable. And then over the $1,000 mark, once we reach that, it's like $1,500 gets, anything over $1,500 gets really uncomfortable for the people that have done the work for 600 to 1,000. And then now they're at this other work. For me, at this point, it does get pretty hard to charge over $2,100. I'm like, whoo, that feels like sticky. Right? It feels sticky and charged. I'm like, did I do a job that did this? Right? And that's what we start to ask. And so that's why it's like, okay, what are we getting really excited about? what is that number that makes me feel this uncomfortable pressure, right, on this particular number? And can I navigate this? You know what you are desiring. You know what you desire. You know what you should be charging. You know what, like, you already know. You know what, like, your expenses are, you know everything, and yet you're still not charging enough to make a profit, right? Or make the kind of money that you want to make. And there's like this wall that comes up when you hit that number. So knowing that number is really fucking important, because at the end of the day, all the beliefs are illusions. It's not fact. People think no one will pay for that. That's too expensive. And even when you're doing consultations and you're about to give someone a price, it's like, to own that price is really fucking hard for people. So this cap exists because you haven't gone over it. So the one time it felt uncomfortable, like let's say you got to that point, you were like, it's $650. That one time it got uncomfortable. Maybe like when we think back, when was the time that it got really, really uncomfortable for you? What amount was it, and why? Ask yourself why. Dig a little deeper. Shine the light on what makes it uncomfortable. The more intense it gets, the more intensity we have in the body, it's because of the closer that we get to the number that feels too much or too expensive, right? And all it took was one client or one potential client or even another artist to say, that sounds like too much money. It took only one time to change your whole perception based on another person's perception. And now we've created it as a belief within us and take on that belief. And now every time we even get close to that number, we feel activation. Our nervous system gets dysregulated. And we are going to be charging this amount below it until we can shine the light on it. See, what happens is that the amygdala, the part of your brain, the fear part of your brain, has an alarm system. So anytime you get to this amount, a part of your brain is activated, and that part of your brain will send you all of the generalized past experiences that says, oh, do you remember that one time when that client said that that was way too expensive? Or maybe that one time that mentor said that you were going too fast and charging way too much? Or when someone told you to be charging what other people in the area is charging? Or that one time you said your price and someone hesitated or gave you like a feeling, right? That's what happens in your brain. Or maybe none of these things even happened to you, and it happened to the artist next to you. You know what I mean? And we take it as our own. And this is when your brain is going to start screaming like a train horn. It's going to be like, burr, 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 and then all of a sudden fear starts to tumble and the alarm systems go off and you get a physical feeling in your body. So when you feel the feeling of, I can't go over that number because X, Y, and Z, your body responds. But you got to understand, it's just a story. It's just an illusion. The alarm system goes off. This number is not safe. So when you know this number is an illusion of the roadblock, the more you can actually hold it. So what happens is it's the feeling that's not wrong. The feeling is right in the body. It's the story that's the illusion. So the goal is to get aware of the story, release the story, and hold the feeling. And let the feeling be felt in the body. Because the more that we let the feeling be felt, we actually create a thicker baseline at the bottom of our root chakra, our safety. This is where we hold our safety. Because our first order of business, our first chakra, our first energy center holds rejection. It's like rejection is death, being accepted is life. And so this moment of rejection, we feel this alarm system that goes off because of the story. We don't want to be rejected. We want to be accepted. So how do we be accepted? We don't go over this number. So here's all the reasons why we need to not go over this number. So all of a sudden now we're like, okay, I know that this is just a perception. And I know that, this is just a story. Can I release the story? Can I love on my human? Hold that feeling. And what I do by holding that feeling, it alchemizes into safety, into security, and the better it feels. Because we create safety. We are the ones that create safety. Our joy, our safety, our security is not based on something external. You can get all the money, but there will be another level for you. There was always another level for me. The moment I charged $600, couldn't go over that. Then I was $1,000, couldn't go over that. Then I healed that, and it was like, I think it was 12, then 15, then 2,000, right? And then now even for my programs, it's like, okay, this is this much, $8,500. This, it's like $88, $5,000, $6,000, $8,500 for being, selling programs. And so it's like, these things we have to heal. There's always going to be a next level. Do I actually believe that I am capable of that? Number one, do I have the belief within myself that I'm capable of that? But really, we're not even asking, do I have the belief that I'm capable of that? It's, do I have the skill sets? And if it's talking about skill sets, we can always gain them. So it's like, who do I need to become to be the kind of artist that charges this much? That's the other factor. So yeah, we want to get really hyped on what we're doing. We want to create safety around what we're charging, because a lot of us are undercharging our worth. We have fear of being in a small town. We have fear of other art being too saturated. Other artists are undercutting us in some capacity. Like, these are all stories that are happening within the mind, but they're not real. They might feel real. You might have had experiences of people being like, well, that guy charges less than you, so I'm going to go to that guy. That is a very real experience, but that does not mean that it's law or the truth for everyone. It's not a saturated market unless you believe it is. That will create a perceived limitation in the way that you show up. But no one is you. And when was the last time you found out how fucking valuable you are? Scrolling and doing what everyone else is doing in the industry, that's not it. Building an iconic brand where you can charge what it is that you want to charge, what you know your worth, it starts from internally. Success is an internal part of the game. It's an internal journey. My success isn't reliant. My success, my joy, my inherent safety, my security is not reliant on anything outside of me or any dollar amount that I bring into my space. Those things are just amplifiers of who you are. And I know you're a good person. So all you're going to do is just be amplifying the good within you. You are a mirror image of your business. And if you can find that value of what you bring to the table, it's going to inherently be literally put onto everything else that you touch. When we find this success, when we know our success starts today, that success is a feeling. The money we receive, that money that we want to receive is just a feeling. And you are the expander. Your secret sauce, your superpower is what will catapult your business. You are the expander. If you want to charge with ease, you are going to need to feel and begin to embody ease. You are a direct mirror to your business, and you cannot feel shame around the number you are asking for. If there is shame, perfect. Now you know where it lies. Now you know your cap. To see people's lives changing, money pouring in with just thought and energy alone, and bringing it back to yourself, you are going to feel better, right? To see people's lives changing, like you are helping with that change. And you're like, fuck yeah, I'm bringing transformation into this world, positive change on the planet through my own medicine, which is tattooing, which is whatever it is you're doing, and money pouring in with just that thought and energy alone. It's going to make you expand. So what do you want to make a month? Say it out loud. When was the last time you claimed it with power? I am worthy of receiving this, right? Say this out loud. If you're in your car, if you're at the tattoo shop, wherever you are, what do you want to make a month? Not the, well, I would be happy with. No, what do you fucking want to make a month? And claim it with power. Declare it out to the universe. If you can't say what you want to make out loud to your mentor or in a safe space or in a community of people that you look up to or are like-minded, how are you going to be able to ask your clients to pay you what you deserve with ease? It comes from power and honoring that truth and what you want life to look like. You are limitless potential incarnate. And so understanding this, and then whatever it is you decide, you're like, I want to make this amount of money a month. And let's say you have this feeling within you that I don't do good enough work to do that. Well, then who do you need to timeline jump into? What iteration of you do you need to jump into that does that level of work that charges that amount of money? Because again, the feeling of success is intrinsic. Money, what does money make you feel like? It makes you feel free. It makes you feel limitless. It makes you feel successful. It makes you feel like you've achieved something. So if you can feel that now, the mind, the body doesn't know no difference between what you have and what you don't, what is real and what is not. It only understands the truth of a feeling. And so what does that feeling feel like? Tap into that. Because if that iteration of you that is making 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K months, that iteration of you is like, yeah, this is how they would feel. All right, then I can step into that feeling. I expand my energy and I expand my perceptions. I expand my reticular activating system, because when my energy is like in lack, my horse blinders go on. But when my energy is in abundance, my horse blinders are taken off. And all of a sudden I can see the opportunities and potential and possibilities all around me to open myself up to start taking the steps to become the artist that I know I am meant to be, that I can be, that I have the potential to be, in order to create the high cash months that I want to create. It's always about who you are becoming versus where it is you're going. It's never about the destination. It's always about the journey. We hear this all the time, but when you can get really good and master about staying really present about where you are right now, and knowing that where you are right now is not something you have to run away from, is actually really fucking perfect, you actually master the present moment and you get better with intention in this moment. And every step in quantum physics looks like, in quantum physics, actual quantum physics, when you're talking about quantum atoms moving in space, when they say quantum leap, we look at it as humans as a big giant leap. But in quantum leaps within quantum physics, when they're talking about quantum molecules and atoms, they're little tiny steps that create big change over time. And so you got to understand that quantum leaps actually happen with the intention of who you are being every single day. And that who you are being is going to create is actually the iteration of you that creates the kind of wealth that you want to see in your life and your business. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next episode.